When you think about improving yourself, it's easy to get caught up in the idea that change has to be massive, immediate, and dramatic. People often believe they need to overhaul their entire life overnight to see any real difference. But that's where many miss the point. Real growth comes from small, consistent improvements, tiny changes that seem almost insignificant in the moment but add up to extraordinary results over time. This is the power of compounding. Imagine a single drop of water falling into a bucket every day. One drop doesn't seem like much, but as days pass, that bucket slowly fills up. That's what improving yourself by just 1% every day is like. It's the steady accumulation of effort that transforms you. Those small, deliberate actions, when repeated daily, don't just add, they multiply. It's a principle not just of personal development, but of nature, finance, and success in every area of life. The compound effect in personal growth means that if you improve 1% today, then again tomorrow, and the next day, after just a month, you've improved by over 30%. After a year, you're more than 37 times better than when you started. That's the power of incremental progress. It's not flashy or exciting, but it's unstoppable. Many people get discouraged because they don't see immediate results and they give up. But if you commit to improving by just a little bit every day, whether it's learning one new concept, practicing one skill, or making one healthier choice, you create momentum. And momentum is the secret fuel of success. The small improvements create a ripple effect that touches every part of your life, your health, your relationships, your career, and your mindset. Think about a professional athlete. They don't become champions by training hard one day and quitting the next. They show up every day, putting in small improvements, refining their technique, building strength, practicing mental focus. Each practice session is one more step forward, 1 more % better. Over time, those tiny gains lead to record-breaking performances. The same is true for anyone striving to improve. The key is to focus less on the enormity of the goal and more on the quality of your daily effort. When you break down your ambitions into manageable daily actions, you remove the intimidation factor. Suddenly, the path becomes clear. You realize that progress isn't about giant leaps, but about showing up day after day, committed to doing just a little better. This approach also builds confidence. Each day's improvement, no matter how small, reinforces the belief that you are capable of change. And as that belief grows, so does your motivation. You begin to crave that feeling of forward movement. You no longer dread the work because you see how it pays off in the long run. It's important to understand that improving by 1% doesn't mean you have to overhaul your entire life all at once. It could be as simple as reading a few pages of a book, practicing a skill for 10 minutes, or choosing a healthier meal. The cumulative effect of these small, consistent choices reshapes your habits, your mindset, and eventually your entire future. On the flip side, neglecting small improvements means neglecting your potential. Just as small gains compound positively, small neglects compound negatively. Skipping opportunities to grow, ignoring your health, or avoiding discipline each day can slowly erode your progress. The difference between success and failure often boils down to these tiny daily decisions. This principle is also empowering because it puts the responsibility and power in your hands. You don't have to wait for the perfect moment or a dramatic opportunity. Improvement is always accessible. Every day you have the chance to get just a little better. And those tiny steps, taken consistently, lead to unstoppable growth that shapes your destiny. So when you commit to improving yourself by 1% every day, you're not just making a choice. You're starting a process that transforms your life quietly but powerfully. It's the humble work behind the scenes that builds champions, leaders, and legacies. And in the end, it's the steady climb, not the sudden jump, that takes you to the summit. Consistency is the secret ingredient that turns small efforts into lasting success. Many people fall into the trap of believing that a burst of intense effort will carry them all the way to their goals. They set ambitious plans, dive in with great enthusiasm, only to burn out or lose momentum a few days or weeks later. The truth is, intensity alone isn't what creates change. Consistency is. Showing up day after day, putting in the work no matter how small, is what builds the foundation for real transformation. Think about planting a seed. You don't pour a bucket of water once and expect a tree to grow overnight. You water it regularly, patiently, sometimes even when it feels like nothing is happening. That steady, reliable care is what eventually brings forth growth. It's the same with self-improvement. Whether you're building a skill, improving your health, or developing better habits, consistent effort is what nurtures progress. Consistency creates momentum. When you commit to a daily routine, your actions build on each other. One day's effort supports the next day's effort, which makes the following day easier, and so on. This momentum helps overcome obstacles, fatigue, and distractions. It's what keeps you moving forward, even when motivation wanes. Without consistency, your progress becomes unpredictable and fragile, subject to the highs and lows of motivation, mood, and circumstance. The beauty of consistency is that it doesn't require perfection. It requires persistence. You don't have to be perfect every day. You just have to be persistent. Even if you stumble, miss a day, or fall short, returning to your routine is what counts. This resilience is a hallmark of successful people. They understand that failure or setbacks are temporary, but quitting is permanent. Consistency means not giving up, even when things get tough. Consistency also builds trust with yourself. When you follow through with your commitments day after day, you strengthen your self-discipline and confidence. You prove to yourself that you are reliable, capable, and in control of your actions. This self-trust becomes a powerful force that propels you toward bigger goals. It turns vague intentions into solid habits, and habits into identity. It's easy to underestimate the power of small, consistent actions because they don't always produce immediate, dramatic results. But over time, these small actions compound and lead to breakthroughs. For example, reading just 10 pages of a book every day might seem insignificant, but after a year, you will have absorbed hundreds of pages and gained knowledge that can transform your thinking. Exercising a little each day might feel slow at first, but over months it builds strength, endurance, and vitality. The key is to make consistency non-negotiable so your daily actions become part of who you are. Another important aspect of consistency is routine. Routines remove the need to rely on willpower or motivation, which are fleeting and unpredictable. When you establish a habit or routine, you automate your actions. You don't have to decide each day whether to work toward your goal. It becomes second nature. This automation conserves your mental energy for challenges that truly require creativity and problem solving. Consistency is also a way to build momentum in the face of challenges. Life will throw distractions, obstacles, and setbacks your way. There will be days when you feel tired, uninspired, or overwhelmed. On those days, the power of consistency shines brightest. Even doing a small part of your goal keeps the momentum alive and makes it easier to pick up again tomorrow. The great achievers understand this principle. They don't rely on occasional bursts of genius or inspiration. They rely on the power of showing up day after day through thick and thin. Their success is the result of the compound effect of consistent, disciplined actions. They've learned that while intensity can start a fire, consistency keeps it burning. In the end, consistency is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. It transforms dreams into realities, plans into accomplishments, and potential into performance. It's not flashy or glamorous, but it's effective. If you want to improve yourself, build a business, or change your life, commit to consistency. It's the steady heartbeat of success that turns small efforts into extraordinary outcomes. Success is rarely the result of grand gestures or sudden, miraculous breakthroughs. Instead, it's the product of simple, disciplined, daily habits carried out consistently over time. When people look at those who have achieved greatness, they often assume that these individuals are somehow different, gifted, lucky, or privileged. But the real secret lies not in extraordinary talent or circumstance, but in the small, everyday choices that build character, skill, and momentum. The habits you develop are the architecture of your future. They shape your identity and determine the trajectory of your life. Whether you're aware of it or not, your daily routines are either moving you toward your goals or pulling you away from them. It's the small, ordinary actions, repeated over and over, that compound into exceptional results. This is why mastering your habits is more important than chasing quick fixes or shortcuts. Think about brushing your teeth or tying your shoes. These are habits you do automatically without even thinking. The power of habits is that they free your mind from making constant decisions, allowing you to conserve mental energy for more complex tasks. When you build good habits related to your health, work, relationships, or personal growth, you automate success. Instead of relying on motivation or willpower, your positive habits do the work for you. For example, consider a writer who commits to writing 500 words every day. At first it might feel small or even tedious, but over weeks, months, and years, those words accumulate into books, articles, or a powerful body of work that shapes influence and legacy. Or take an athlete who trains consistently day in and day out, focusing on proper nutrition, exercise, and rest. The compound effect of these habits leads to peak physical performance. The same applies to entrepreneurs, leaders, and anyone who has reached a high level of success. They built habits that supported their vision. Discipline is the engine that drives these habits. It's what keeps you doing the right thing even when you don't feel like it. Discipline bridges the gap between goals and accomplishment. Without discipline, your good intentions remain just that, intentions. Discipline turns intentions into actions and actions into habits. Another key aspect of disciplined habits is their simplicity. Habits don't have to be complicated or overwhelming to be effective. In fact, simple habits are often the most sustainable. It's better to start with a manageable action, like drinking a glass of water in the morning or reading 10 pages of a book, than to try to overhaul your entire life in one day. Small habits are easier to maintain, less intimidating, and less likely to cause burnout. Over time, these small wins build confidence and create a positive feedback loop that encourages you to keep going. It's also important to recognize the role of environment in habit formation. Your surroundings influence your behavior more than you might realize. When you design an environment that supports your goals, whether that means keeping healthy snacks visible, removing distractions from your workspace, or surrounding yourself with motivated people, you make it easier to stick to your habits. Environment is the silent partner in your success journey. Habits also serve as a roadmap for personal growth. When you develop good habits, you're not just improving a skill or completing a task, you're growing your character. You cultivate qualities like patience, persistence, responsibility, and self-control. These qualities build your resilience and prepare you to handle bigger challenges in the future. Many people struggle because they chase motivation or inspiration instead of building habits. Motivation is unpredictable. It comes and goes like the weather. Habits, on the other hand, are reliable. When you build strong habits, you no longer need to wait for motivation. You simply show up and do the work because it's what you do. You become someone who acts regardless of mood or circumstance. Of course, building disciplined habits requires patience and persistence. It doesn't happen overnight. There will be setbacks, days when you falter, and moments of doubt. But that's part of the process. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up is that successful people keep returning to their habits. They don't let one missed day become an excuse to quit. They understand that progress is a journey, not a destination. Ultimately, simple, disciplined habits create a ripple effect across every area of your life. They improve your health, boost your productivity, strengthen your relationships, and enhance your mindset. They build the foundation for a life of purpose and achievement. When you commit to these daily habits, you're not just working toward goals. Remember, greatness is not about doing extraordinary things once in a while. It's about doing ordinary things extraordinarily well, day after day. The power of simple, disciplined habits is that they make success inevitable. They take the weight off your shoulders and put it into a system that works quietly, steadily, and powerfully. And that's the kind of power that lasts a lifetime. Waiting for the perfect moment or expecting dramatic leaps to change your life is one of the biggest obstacles to progress. Too often, people delay taking action because they believe conditions aren't ideal, they need more preparation, or they have to wait for the right opportunity to present itself. But life doesn't work on a schedule tailored to your readiness. If you wait for everything to be perfect, you'll find yourself stuck in the same place, watching opportunities pass by. The truth is, progress starts with a decision and consistent action, not perfect conditions. Perfectionism is often disguised as patience or prudence, but it can become a trap that leads to procrastination. It's the voice inside that says, I'll start when I'm more ready, or I need to learn just one more thing. While preparation is important, it's equally important to recognize when preparation becomes an excuse for inaction. The journey of growth is rarely linear or smooth. It requires courage to start imperfectly and refine as you go along. Taking small, imperfect steps forward is better than standing still, waiting for the ideal scenario. This is where the power of momentum comes in. Action, even if it's not perfect, creates momentum. Momentum builds confidence, teaches valuable lessons, and opens doors to new opportunities. In contrast, inaction breeds doubt, fear, and missed chances. Remember, the first step is often the hardest, but once you move, the path becomes clearer and new possibilities emerge. Another reason waiting for big leaps or perfect conditions slows you down is because it sets unrealistic expectations. Big changes rarely happen overnight. Most success stories are built on countless small actions and steady progress. Waiting for a giant leap can cause frustration and disappointment when it doesn't come quickly. But when you embrace the idea of gradual improvement and daily effort, you align yourself with the natural way growth happens. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking that success requires extraordinary effort or rare moments of brilliance. The truth is that everyday decisions, habits, and attitudes have a far greater impact than occasional bursts of enthusiasm. When you focus on showing up consistently, improving a little each day, and taking responsibility for your progress, you create a powerful force that propels you forward. It's also important to realize that waiting for a perfect moment is often linked to fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, or fear of the unknown. Taking action despite fear is what separates those who succeed from those who don't. The imperfect start is still a start. Every expert was once a beginner who took that first step without knowing exactly how it would turn out. The habit of starting imperfectly builds resilience. It teaches you to adapt, learn from mistakes, and keep moving forward. This mindset shift from waiting to acting is crucial for growth. It transforms hesitation into momentum, doubt into confidence, and procrastination into progress. Waiting for big leaps also ignores the power of compounding small wins. Each small step, each slight improvement, each effort counts. They add up, they multiply. Over time, these small actions produce results far greater than any single giant leap ever could. The journey of improvement is about consistent progress, not dramatic bursts. In life, there's no right time waiting for you at the corner. The right time is the time you decide to act, imperfect though it may be. Waiting for perfect conditions gives away your power to the external world. Taking imperfect action gives you control over your own destiny. So stop waiting. Start now. Take that first small step, no matter how imperfect. The only way forward is forward, one step at a time. Each step builds the foundation for the next, and before you know it, you'll have traveled far beyond where you ever thought possible. The big leaps will come, but only if you commit to moving forward, even when it feels uncertain. That's how progress happens. That's how dreams turn into reality. Growth is not something that happens by chance. It requires intentional, deliberate effort every single day. You cannot expect to improve yourself or achieve your goals without consistently taking action, no matter how small those actions may seem. Many people fall into the trap of waiting for motivation or inspiration to strike before they act, but the truth is that growth demands more than just feelings. It demands discipline and purposeful steps forward. When you commit to intentional daily action, you take control of your life and steer it in the direction you want. Every day becomes an opportunity to get better, to learn something new, to push past old limitations. It's this daily focus on improvement that creates a ripple effect, influencing every aspect of your life, from your health and mindset to your relationships and career. Intentional action means setting clear priorities and making conscious decisions that align with your goals. It's about recognizing that every choice you make has a consequence, either moving you closer to your aspirations or pulling you away from them. When you act with intention, you avoid the common pitfall of drifting through life on autopilot, wasting time on distractions and unproductive habits. Taking intentional action also helps you build momentum. The act of doing, even small things, generates energy and motivation to keep going. It's like lighting a fire. You start with a small spark, and as you feed it daily with purposeful effort, the fire grows stronger and brighter. Without daily action, that spark dies out, and your goals remain distant dreams. Another key aspect of intentional growth is reflection. Taking deliberate action doesn't mean rushing blindly forward. It means regularly assessing your progress, learning from your experiences, and adjusting your approach as needed. This cycle of action and reflection sharpens your focus and improves your effectiveness, ensuring that your efforts are always moving you in the right direction. Intentional action also combats the paralyzing effects of overwhelm. When goals feel huge and daunting, it's easy to become stuck. But breaking down your objectives into manageable daily steps makes progress achievable and less intimidating. You don't have to conquer everything at once. You just need to take consistent, purposeful steps each day. These small wins build confidence and reduce anxiety, fueling further growth. Moreover, intentional daily action builds resilience. Life is full of unexpected challenges and setbacks. When you have a habit of purposeful effort, you develop the strength to persevere despite difficulties. Instead of being derailed by obstacles, you learn to adapt, problem solve, and keep moving forward. This resilience becomes a powerful asset on your growth journey. Growth also thrives in an environment of accountability. When you take intentional action, you become accountable to yourself and others. This accountability creates a sense of responsibility that drives you to follow through on your commitments. It prevents you from slipping into complacency or excuses, pushing you to maintain your momentum over time. It's important to remember that intentional action is not about perfection or grand gestures. It's about consistent, focused effort, even if it's imperfect. Waiting to feel ready or trying to do everything perfectly often leads to procrastination. The key is to start where you are, take deliberate steps, and improve as you go. Intentional action transforms your mindset as well. It shifts you from being a passive observer of your life to an active participant. You realize that your growth is in your hands and that every day offers a new opportunity to create the future you desire. This mindset empowers you to face challenges with confidence and embrace change as a necessary part of progress. Ultimately, growth is a journey fueled by intentional daily action. It's the accumulation of small, purposeful choices made consistently that leads to meaningful transformation. When you make a habit of acting intentionally, you build a life of purpose, achievement, and fulfillment. You become the architect of your destiny, designing it with each thoughtful step you take. One of the most overlooked but incredibly powerful principles for lasting success is surrounding yourself with the right people. The people you spend your time with have a profound impact on your mindset, your habits, and ultimately, the outcomes you achieve. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, a truth that highlights just how critical your social circle is in shaping your future. When you surround yourself with motivated, positive, and success-oriented individuals, you naturally adopt their attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors. Their energy fuels your own drive, their mindset expands your possibilities, and their support strengthens your resilience. On the other hand, if you spend time with people who are negative, complacent, or skeptical, their limiting beliefs and attitudes can slowly seep into your own thinking, holding you back without you even realizing it. The company you keep influences your daily habits and your approach to challenges. For example, if your close friends are diligent, disciplined, and goal-focused, their example encourages you to adopt similar habits. You find yourself pushed to grow, to take your own efforts seriously, and to hold yourself accountable. Conversely, if you surround yourself with people who procrastinate, complain, or avoid responsibility, you may find yourself slipping into the same patterns. Habits, attitudes, and energy are contagious, so choosing your company wisely is a strategic move towards success. Beyond habits, the right environment provides inspiration and new ideas. When you engage with people who are learning, growing, and achieving, you expose yourself to fresh perspectives and valuable knowledge. Conversations with ambitious peers challenge your thinking and expand your vision. They can spark creativity and open doors to opportunities you might not have discovered on your own. Accountability is another key benefit of surrounding yourself with the right people. When you share your goals with others who care about your success, you create a support system that helps keep you on track. These people celebrate your wins, encourage you through setbacks, and provide honest feedback. They help you stay committed and motivated when your own resolve starts to waver. It's important to recognize that building the right circle takes intention. Sometimes you may need to distance yourself from relationships that no longer serve your growth. That can be difficult, especially when it involves long-term friendships or family. But personal development requires making tough choices about who you allow to influence your life. Seeking out mentors, joining groups of like-minded individuals, and connecting with people who share your values and aspirations are crucial steps. Mentorship is especially powerful in this regard. A mentor who has walked the path before you can offer guidance, wisdom, and encouragement that accelerates your progress. They help you avoid common pitfalls and keep your focus sharp. Learning from someone else's experience is like having a shortcut to success, reducing trial and error. In addition to choosing the right people, it's vital to contribute positively to your circle. Relationships are reciprocal. When you bring value, whether through encouragement, knowledge, or support, you strengthen your own character and build deeper connections. This mutual growth environment elevates everyone involved. Sometimes you may find that your current circle is too small or not aligned with your goals. In those cases, take active steps to expand your network. Attend events, join professional groups, participate in workshops, or engage in online communities that focus on growth and success. The more you surround yourself with people who uplift and challenge you, the more your own potential will rise. It's also worth mentioning that the right environment isn't limited to people. The places you frequent, the media you consume, and the culture you immerse yourself in all play a role in shaping your mindset. A supportive environment minimizes distractions, reduces negative influences, and fosters productivity and learning. Ultimately, the people around you act as a mirror, reflecting back your possibilities and potential. Choose to surround yourself with those who see the best in you, push you to be better, and celebrate your progress. This powerful synergy creates an environment where growth is not only possible, it becomes inevitable. The path to success is never a solo journey. It's a collective climb fueled by the strength and inspiration of those you walk with. When you commit to improving just 1% every day, you harness the unstoppable power of consistent, deliberate growth. It's in those small, steady steps, building good habits, taking imperfect action, surrounding yourself with the right people, that lasting success is born. The journey isn't about overnight transformation. It's about showing up each day, doing the work, and trusting the process. Remember, greatness is not a destination but a habit. And with patience, discipline, and the right mindset, you'll find yourself becoming the person capable of achieving what once seemed impossible. Keep moving forward, because that's where your true potential lies.